Konnichiwa!
Watashi wa Shaylee desu.
Watashi wa Monica desu.
Watashi wa Nicole desu.
Watashi wa Percy desu. And today we're going to be talking about teachable machines.
Okay, so what is a teachable machine? It's a machine that you are able to teach to recognize different images, sounds, or poses, and all you need to do is to input the data. So before we actually help you guys navigate the Teachable Machines website, we're going to show you guys a video on how you can use the website.
People are training computers and creating machine learning models to explore all kinds of new ideas. New ways to interact.
Yes.
To understand the world. To play. And experiment. But machine learning is pretty intimidating to get into. So we've been wondering, what if it wasn't? With Teachable Machine, we set out to make it easier for anyone to create machine learning models without needing to write any machine learning code. When it first launched in 2017, it allowed everyone to get a feeling for what machine learning is all about. But now, Teachable Machine puts the power of machine learning in your hands, allowing you to save your models and use them in your own projects.
So let's say you want to build a model to recognize you versus your dog. You just open up the site, record samples of you and samples of your dog. Click Train, and you instantly have your own machine learning model, which you can use in your sites, apps, and more. You can upload your model to host it online, or download it to work entirely on device.
With Teachable Machine, you can create custom models for all sorts of things. Using images, audio, or even poses. Personalized machine learning models for the things that matter to you. And folks have already been trying it out, using Teachable Machine in their own experiments, solving problems in their communities, or even just at home. Start creating and see where your ideas take you at g.co/teachable machine.
Okay, the good thing about this website or tool is that all you need is 3 easy steps. The first step is to just gather the data. So you would gather samples such as images, or you can record your own videos or sounds, and then you can organize them into different classes. The second step is to just train your model. So you would input all of the data that you gathered into the different classes, and then you would train the model. And then the third step is to just test or export the machine to see if you have enough data to identify the classes correctly.
We will talk about the strengths of Teachable Machines. So first of all, anybody can use it. It's free. All you need is a Google account. It's easy to use, only like 3 steps that we just mentioned in the previous slide. No coding required. And lastly, it can be used for any subject content areas. So for example, art, when you're trying to categorize the different types of art, science, when you're trying to put in like the different types of species, math, such as when you're trying to categorize the different types of shapes, formulas, PE, and all kinds of different subjects as well. Along with strengths, we can also talk about the limitations with Teachable Machines. So the machine is only as good as the data. Less data means less functioning machine. So that's why it's important to put a good amount of data in order for the machine to work well. Data files need to be a specific file type. Audio needs to be recorded on TM website. Processing time can take a while based on the amount of data. So if you put in a lot of data, it will take longer for the data to be processed. And if you put like a little amount of data, it will take more faster for the data to be processed.
So why should I use a teachable machine in my classroom? The first reason is that it encourages critical thinking and problem solving. By having to work through the issue of how to create the teachable machine, it allows the students to think deeply about the issue and how to solve it. The second reason is that it allows students to be creative. As you saw in the video, there's so many different ways to use a teachable machine, so they have lots of choices in what they want to do for their projects. Next, it teaches students about data bias. when you put two different images in front of a screen, it might look like it's just taking that data, but it's considering more than just what's in front of you. If you saw a dog, it doesn't just see a dog, it sees a dog that's black, a dog that's brown. It takes in all this data and it could create a bias in your teachable machine. The last one is that it applies to all grade levels K through 12. So a kid any age can create a teachable machine. So you might be wondering now, I'm brand new to this, I've never used a teachable machine before. So what are some ideas for my class? Well, you're just in luck. For each type of teachable machine, we made some sample lesson plans and projects / ideas that you could use. So for the image project idea, which is where you take an image and then you upload it and then it'll tell you what kind of picture is in the frame. For elementary, an idea would be identifying colors, so telling maybe red from blue from yellow. Math would be identifying shapes and angles, so what's a right angle versus a 180-degree angle. Science would be classification, so anything that is like in a certain category, so like clouds, plants, and rocks. And then social studies, it could be something like identifying historical artifacts from different time periods. For the audio project, which is where you're going to speak into the mic and then it'll tell what you're saying. English, it could be phonics, so how you speak. Music could be staccato versus legato. World language is pronunciation, and then science might be recognizing animal sounds. Lastly, for the pose project, where you move in front of the camera, some ideas for different subjects would dance, would be practicing techniques, PE, yoga poses, and then world language might be sign language or demonstrating gestures like bowing.
Okay, now that you've seen some ideas for lesson plans and have some ideas going in your head, we also wanted to provide you some examples on this slide of each type of machine. So first is an art image project for the image machine, where you can test out or insert different images of art, so like sculpture, fashion, and it'll identify what kind of art it is. For those of you who have been to Hawaii, you may have heard of a highway called Like Highway. Some people pronounce it like. So you can test your own pronunciation by talking into that audio machine. And then we also have our squat pose. You can see, it'll tell you if you're doing the squat properly. As we all know, it can be, sometimes we go a little bit too high or too low. So if you want to check those out, please look at the PowerPoint or the slides. But now we are going to walk you through on how to actually make a teachable machine. All right, now that we've shown you some examples, it is your turn to get started on making teachable machines. You can always walk through it with us, but we're going to show you step by step. So in your search browser, you are going to type in teachablemachines.com, and it should be the first website that gets pulled up. We are going to be making a machine using yoga poses. So for all you yogis out there, you can help your friends to make one. So when you get to the Teachable Machine website, you are going to want to click Get Started. And it'll give you those 3 projects that we talked about, the image, audio, and pose. Since we are using yoga poses, we are going to be using the pose project. As you can see, these are the different classes that Monica mentioned at the very beginning of the presentation. And the best thing with Pose Project is that you can actually insert your webcam and download those images from there. So we are going to be using 2 poses, which will be the tree pose and the mountain pose. And so that is going to be the name of our class. So the first one we will say will be tree pose. And we have the lovely model Monica right there. And you can see that her body is being kind of analyzed by AI, so they're looking for the different body positions to help them identify different poses. So Monica's going to demonstrate to us first the tree pose, and we're going to press record. And you want to import, as you mentioned, as many samples as possible. Now, as we know, AI is only as good as their data, so Monica might even do the other side or the other foot, because tree pose can be used on either leg. Cool. Thanks, Monica. Okay, so that is our first class. Our second pose is our mountain pose, so we're just going to click on the next class down below. And same thing, you can upload pictures if you want, but for this case, we're going to use our webcam. And mountain is super easy. You just put your hands up, nice and wide and open, and then we're going to press record. And as you can see, all of those pose samples are being uploaded into the system. And once again, the image project is going to be looking at it. And it's really good to get all different angles, because you never know what angle they're going to be looking at. And for this purpose, we're just going to stop there, since as we mentioned, sometimes teachable machines can take a long time, but we do recommend maybe even entering 50 to 100 different samples. Then you're going to press train the model. And we're back! our model is trained. As you can see, it'll say model trained. Now before you export it, you always want to test it out. So we're going to test out with Monica right here. You can see we have our 2 classes on the bottom. Right now it's thinking she's doing tree pose. But let's see what happens. She's testing it out. All right, let's see if we can get the mountain pose. Okay, there we go. And as you can see, it really depends on the placement of her hands or where she's going. And you can talk to your students about how well the data is being analyzed. As I mentioned, sometimes there's bias. And if it wasn't able to easily recognize, that might mean that you just need to put more samples in. We hope you had fun learning about teachable machines and you're able to find a way to use it in your classroom.
And now it's your turn to try.
Arigatou gozaimasu!